Okay, so come on in, take a sip, let's wind down. It's time for the Saturday grid, and again, the Bodegas Arezón Tinto de España. Fantastic red wine, 2022 Vent. Give it a shot. It's just amazing. As you can see, I'm in my joggers. It's a nice fall day. The crisp is in the air. It's a beautiful time to celebrate, unwind, relax. And when I'm finished with this, it's time to make dinner. So, open up our grid here. Let's see what we got. We've got a Peter A. Collins construction edited by Joel Faliano. So, all right, let's hop on in and see what we got today. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, a hotel room staple. Okay. Wow, gosh, don't know. Name on the playbill for a 1936 Salzburg festival. One of a singing duo. Solarium. So in Germany, I think this is like a tanning salon. Well, you see them all the time, solarium and whatnot, and they're all just tanning beds. So I don't know. Let's see what else we got here. Période chaude de l'année. So hot times of the year in French, and I guess this would be summer. So it. Depending on, I guess, in French in school, it was it is. But I think you talk to someone in France, or especially in Paris, maybe up in Metz. So, all right, let's see. With 43 down, fictional coach of AFC Richmond. And I think that's Ted Lasso. And I have never seen a Ted Lasso episode. I cannot say for sure, but I have seen enough Ted Lasso references in the grid over the last couple of years with everything from the LA Times, you name it, the New Yorker. I do various crosswords on a regular basis, and so I have to say, you kind of start to get that crossword ease going in your brain, right? You know? So a hotel room staple. It's in a sheet, is it? Oh, that makes no sense. Way could be a route or a route, depending on your pronunciation. Spotted in a way. People to hang out with. Well, I can't really justify bros because there's nothing really to. It just says people to hang out with. So maybe something a little bit more gender inclusive would be pals. And Oslo Accords signatory for short. Well, you have Israel. You had the PLO. Of course, the United States was there. If I'm not mistaken, that was President Clinton. I think I'm probably just going to go with a PLO on this one. I don't know. And those two P's and that R tell me that this is probably Trapp, as in the Captain Von Trapp and his peeps. And something about the Sound of Music, perhaps. So this looks like this could be a TV set, which is kind of an antiquated thing to call it, isn't it? So I guess a solarium, depending on your pronunciation, would probably be a sun lounge. This is not the easiest of Saturday grids. And I mean, Saturday's supposed to be the hardest day of the week, depending on the strength of the Sunday grid. But so I'm assuming spotted could be acne. What a terrible thing to say. And I guess one of a singing duo. Oh, hey, we're getting vocal cords in here today. Oh, just making all kinds of headway, aren't we? Two-time Oscar nominee Joan Cusack. And always a big fan of hers and her brothers. I always thought that Joan Cusack was just probably one of the most overlooked actors from Generation X ever. A vessel that hasn't crossed the Canadian border, oh yeah, since 1993, and I don't have a freaking clue. I can't fit a semi-tractor trailer in there. I know we've got those going back and forth since 93 and NAFTA, so I don't know. Spade for one. Actually, we'll let ourselves in. It's probably like don't wait up for us or something. Emphatic agreement. Love it when this shows up. Do I love it? No, I mean, it's great. You know what? I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in. I mean, why not? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I get cool points, and that's kind of a cool thing. I mean, I think, anyway. Still don't know what vessel hasn't crossed the Canadian border since 1993, so, okay. Medical breakthrough of 1954 that yielded a Nobel Prize, and I guess that would be maybe, I've got the ORG, so maybe an organ transplant. Now we got enough, I think, to maybe take a look and see what we can figure out, and also check that don't wait up for us and organ transplant at the same time. Still don't know what that vessel is. Spade for one, could be a lawn tool. Okay, now I'm starting to feel slightly better about my guesswork. Calling, is this a V? Mood, could be a vibe. Okay, so maybe a calling could be a vocation. I've had so many, I don't know if any of them were ever really a calling. I was just good at what I've always done, but I gotta tell you, the thing that I'm probably most passionate about is what I do now. You know, I love being a healthcare administrator. I do. I think it's great. And, you know, I specialize in high reliability, organizational, you know, standards, principles, skills, culture, that kind of thing, right? So really, you know, a lot in common with aviation too, which I really love. Skimpy garments, looks like it's just begging to be mini skirts. Oh, what did I do there? Mini skirts, okay. I don't really know how skimpy they are. Hound dog singer, Big Mama Thornton. You ain't none but a hound dog. Ah, she's got a great version, right? Drink mentioned 4 times in the prologue of the Canterbury Tales. Yes, Chaucer, you make yourself known even today. Fantastic. Reality show winners is OT2, depending on how you like to say it. And I guess this is American Idol. I don't know. Building block could be Adobe. Nice. And brood could be to mope, which gives us the nope wagging finger, which is kind of fun. Okay, I feel pretty good about don't wait up for us, but let's just get a few more here on this, because that whole don't wait up, that 5 grid, that 5 cell portion of the grid could be something besides for us. So I don't, you know, when doubled a pop nickname, and I guess we're talking about Tay-Tay and the so-called Rocket City of the South, and I guess this would be Huntsville, Alabama. I've heard that. Been there too. It's hot, but you know, go no further could be halt, but halt and catch fire. Naughty list. Maybe a rap sheet? If so, that's clever. I like it. I like it a lot. What do we got here? Masters of bad impersonations. And it looks like we've got identity thieves just begging to come out of here. So before E except after C, and then whenever you don't want to actually use the rule. Map abbreviations, streets, got it. Not yet explored as a tomb, and I would assume that would be unentered. I don't know. This is a challenging Saturday, and this is not for the faint of heart. That is for sure. Gorgeous. Maybe ravishing. Like my Shotzi. All the time. Quite the party could be a big do, or standard hair fair in the 1980s all over the United States. Asian Royal. I guess we're talking about a Rani here. And what do we got here? Big Bird. Yeah, got it. So reasons for some street closures, maybe fairs. Small invention. Oh, that's clever too. I like that. I like it. Something to wallow in, maybe self-pity. And I'll tell you what, I am not the OCD, the fastidiousness in my personality is not like how this is getting all cattywampus, but it's fun. Sets root could be sets in. Okay. Deluxe wrap. Oh. I have a feeling those are like mink stoles. That's not good. Freshly pressed grapes before fermentation. Well, I might know something about that. In fact, as an enophile, you might say it's a must. Must. Very nice. I love it. Out on a limb, say, ooh. Bridge piece. We'll get to it. Deluxe. Yeah, I think these are mink stoles. And does anybody wear those anymore? I mean, I know they wear them here in the cold climates, but it's not necessarily considered something luxurious, right? You know, so you don't get PETA all wrapped around the axle. People wear a lot of fur in Germany because guess what? It gets freaking cold. And the further north you get, I mean, Finland, you know, Denmark, you know, just Norway, Sweden, so on and so forth. Yeah, so not spent anymore. It looks like a very clever way to say rested. I like that, if it's right. Fish whose egg casings are called mermaid's purses, and I don't know this at all, but I got an SK, so I'm going to go with a skate. I don't know what else to do. Menace in Deadwake, the last crossing of the Lusitania, and I'm assuming this is a U-boat. I haven't seen it, but bridge piece. Votre santé. And thank you to your health as well. Zip. How about none? Very cool. And I guess out on a limb would be treed and a bridge piece, bar. Very nice. Okay, so we got the northeast done. All we have left is a portion of the mid-south here and the southwest. So let's see what we got. Tony Winter, Judith. I think this is Judith Ivy they're referring to. They might be bright. No. Cut and polish, maybe. I'm thinking edit. Nicely done. The Washington Nationals, I'm assuming. So maybe the Expos. And spin out on the ice, perhaps Axel. So maybe bright ideas. Oh, this is a great puzzle. This is a tight little grid by Peter A. Collins. I am loving it. Slim winning margin. You won by a nose. Chicago's Aon Center. I always say Ion for some reason. I don't know why. Pub fixtures could be lose. In sight. Oh, wow. Wow, that could be a number of things. Spur on, urge on. What do we got here? Where Dr. J played college hoops for short, and he went to the University of Massachusetts, so that helps. And I guess now we've got urge on. And a vessel that hasn't crossed the Canadian border since 93, and that's... I think this is the Stanley Cup. And if it is, that's a pretty big dig, especially since that's kind of a Canadian thing. I mean, she played Julia in 2009's Julie and Julia. And I'm assuming we're going for Meryl Streep here. Van Susteren of TV News, I guess it'd be Greta. Two shakes could be a sec. Amber could be a resin. Unless I fat fingered something. I don't know. How do we do, Bob? I love that little ditty. And I loved this grid. Peter A. Collins, you built, I mean, this is one of the most solid constructions I've seen in a Saturday grid in a long time. It was just the right amount of clever. Really, it was beautiful. I didn't see anything that was inelegant at all. It was all, up there. If it wasn't for a couple of lucky guesses through this thing, I would have been done. I just know it. This is one of those grids that would have been very difficult for me to best, say, 10 years ago. This would have been a tough one. So with that, and with all due respect, let's go ahead and tap this sucker on out of here. Well done again to Peter A. Collins. And we'll go ahead and bring down our en signe d'adieu. In which I will just say, until we see you next time, thank you for the liking and subscribing, and thank you for the comments. I've got a ton of them. I'm going to get ready to sit down and edit as soon as these videos start to process. I can't wait to answer them. Bright stuff, beautiful stuff. I was reading them as I was going through the farmer's market this morning, getting stuff for, veggies and whatnot, produce for the week. And so here we go. But as always, until we see you tomorrow, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Bis später, bis dann, bis morgen. Tschüss, Servus, auf Wiedersehen, Grüß Gott, ciao, Cin-Cin. Be good to yourselves, be good to your neighbors, and be really nice to the person behind you in line. All right, take care. We'll see you tomorrow. Be well.